The man is obviously a lunatic. It's apparent that his actions can only be described as the ravings of a madman.
Hey guys, I'm toilet training somebody at the moment, so this could be a bit interesting to film. But anyway, talking about building communities today. This will be part 2 of the what's next, I think I called it. The next step, maybe. Check that video out if you haven't yet. But I find it easy to network with like-minded people, and a lot of people struggle in that area. I'm not trying to be a douche about it, but I just want to explain to you why I think I have an edge in that area, and maybe that'll help you guys to build the same edge. So I'm a little bit unique in a way, because I grew up always on the fringe of the groups or the societies, or I was always kind of an outcasty figure, if that makes sense. I never really fit in anywhere. I bounced around from group to group. Never really felt like I belonged anywhere. Even in my own house, I didn't really feel like I belonged. So that kind of built a resilience in me off the bat. Then when I became Christian and I started talking to God and I built that relationship with him, I realized, I've got somebody that knows me, loves me, cares about me. I can go to him with anything. I can trust him. He's perfect. And then once I built a strong relationship with that loving father, I just totally stopped caring what people think. I gave up on wanting to be loved and cared for and cherished by humans. I gave up on wanting to be, this notorious, awesome person. And I remember that feeling when I was younger, like wanting to be the cool person, wanting to be the accepted person, the leader of the group, blah, blah, blah. Once I gave up on that totally and just let go of it, God kind of gave it to me, if that makes sense. It's weird, but he's done that with a lot of things in my life. When I really, really want something, I won't get it. Then when I give up and say, you know what, God, you know better than me. If you want me to have it, I'll have it. If you don't want me to have it, I give up. I don't need it. I let it go. And then he'll give it to me. And it's like, okay, so that's a process that he wants us to go through, I think. What do you want, mate? I'll give you a truck, yes. So that's one thing that helped me, was just like learning to only rely on God. So I'd encourage you guys to try and aim towards that in your prayer lives. And another thing, I think, is just not being scared of getting hurt. And I've been hurt a ton of times. And I know all you guys have too. You've all been burned by some asshole who you thought was a friend and then was just turned out to be a massive dickhead. And that happens. That's human nature. Like, we're all potatoes. Every single one of us. Every single human is a potato in God's beautiful farm. I'm just talking rubbish, but you get what I mean. Like, we're all kind of fallen and we're all annoying in some way. And you could have two relatively decent people and they could fight. And that happened with Peter and Paul. They were both pretty adamant followers of Jesus. Like, Peter had his moments but then look at where Paul came from. Like, and they fought. They had to go their separate ways for a while because they just couldn't stand each other. And that happens. That's going to happen in these community things. But like, at the end of the day, if you're basing what you believe on the Bible, if you're trying to act in love rather than trying to show everybody how right you are, if there's pride, weed that out of these communities, because you really don't want that. You want mature, solid dudes that have been at it for a while and they are comfortable in who they are, they're comfortable in their skin, they're not divisive, they're not going to cause division on purpose, and they're loyal. And they're not going to, go around trying to promote themselves or doing things for worldly gain. So it takes time, and that process can be painful, because you can get really close to someone and then realize, they're a dickhead, and that's 6 months of your time wasted, and it's a painful process of cutting them out of your life and that kind of thing. And I've been there. I trust me, I've been there a lot of times. But we need to not give up. We need to be resilient and try again, because around the corner could be that group of people that you really dig, that you're going to have a blast with, that are going to be really cool. So don't give up on putting yourself out there, even and know that there's a risk that you're going to get hurt. Just accept that and pray about it, and God will eventually bring the right people to you. So in your forums, in your chats, in your online networks, just say, hey, where's everybody live? Does anybody live near me? Do you want to come around for dinner? And don't let the devil hold you in a bubble of comfort where you're in your little safety zone and nobody can penetrate your safety zone. Because at this stage, we really need to start building these communities and friendships outside of the internet. Because they could flip the internet off tomorrow, and then where are you going to be? I just encourage you guys to be brave, work on your relationship with God, let go of the need of human approval, and just get to a point in your spiritual walk where you're just like, I'm me, and God's made me this way, and I love God, God loves me, I don't need anybody. But remain absolutely humble and love people out of that. So God pretty much gives you a really powerful position where you're like, I'm invincible. But then once he gives you that armor almost, that protection, that emotional protection, then out of that you need to be like, right, I'm going to love every human being that I come into contact with, that comes across my path. Rather than using that armor for evil, you got to use it for good, if that makes sense. So don't use it and go just sling mud at everybody and say like, you're this, you're that, I'm better than you, you don't understand this theology or that theology, or you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that. Because those people are obviously, they've got a pretty tough skin to be able to go out and just sling mud at everybody in every direction. That's not what we need to do when we get to that point with God where we don't need people's approval anymore. Then we need to act out of love from that and reach out to, hey, like, do you guys want to come around for dinner? What are your hobbies? Do you want to build a car? I don't know, build something. Building stuff's just a bloke thing. That's cool to do together, or work on a hobby together, or find something you have in common. Go kick a footy. Whatever you got to do to build those friendships. And at the end of the day, if they turn out to be a totally monstrous, horrible person, you just cut them out of your life and try again. And eventually, you'll start seeing a bit of a network around you where there's all these people that you know that are on the same page, and you say, hey, let's get together and have a barbecue, and you guys will get along with these guys, and vice versa. And it'll be messy. It's always going to be messy, guys, but God put us here to be in community with one another, not to be isolated. It just makes you a super easy target for the devil if you're on your own and isolated and trying to do everything by yourself. We need to carry each other's burdens. We need to bear each other's crosses. We need to be looking after each other and supporting each other. And the harder things get, the more we're going to need that. I just encourage you to put yourself out there, be brave, have people around and go out for coffee with people, have a chat, build communities in real life and outside of the screen, because we're not going to have the screen forever. This is a golden age where we've got this network that they haven't totally shut down yet, so let's use it before they take it away and we're stuck on our own, isolated. And when you're isolated, you are a lot more vulnerable to the enemy, both physically and spiritually. That's it. God bless. See you next time. Bye, potatoes.